Okay. It's okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Let me stop sharing for a second. Good morning, everyone. My name is Simone Washington. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Okay, good. My name is Simone Washington, and I am the administrative analyst with the Office of Faculty Affairs. And I am happy to have you with me this morning as we go over what you need to know about your probationary review period, your 6-year period. And so this is just an opportunity to go through your probationary period, whether it be 6 years or 7 years, what it looks like, where you currently are, what to expect coming up in the coming years, and everything in between. So if you have any questions, feel free to hop in at any moment to ask. This is being recorded in case some people are not able to join us, or in case there are some people who want to review the information later. We're recording this for them. Okay. So are there any questions before we continue? Okay. All right. So I'm going to start sharing now. Sharing my screen here. Share. Okay. So here is our agenda for this morning. Throughout the session, we're going to go over some key terms to make sure we have the same definition for these terms that you'll be hearing for these 6 or 7 years. We'll go over the probationary review map that I created as a visual for the 6 years or 7 years that you'll be under review. We'll take a tour of the evaluations website for that is offered by the Office of Faculty Affairs. We'll go over some RTP policy updates, and we'll go through the different types of evaluation so that everyone is clear on what each one means, what its purpose is, and if you have any questions about any of them, just let me know. I will also give you a tour of the Interfolio platform in case you have not used it yet or haven't seen it yet. And I'll point out some important places for you to be familiar with to help you as you're getting your material together and storing them for future reviews. Okay. And at any point during the session, please feel free to ask questions as they come up. Okay. Okay, we were gonna have a guest here from the SPOT team on campus, but I don't see that they're here yet, so we'll come back to this portion a little bit later, okay? All right, so this is the probationary review map, and I am going to just stop sharing real quick, just so I can put the link to this in the chat for you. There's also a post-probationary review map that we'll discuss later, but for now, this is where you find it. Where did the chat go? Okay. Oops. Okay. All right, so that's the chat. All right, so this is the probationary review map, and this is helpful to visualize the process from years 6 or 7. So at the very top, there's one column for each number of service credit years that you have received, either none, one, or two. Two is the max number of service credit years that you could be appointed with. And depending on how many service credit years you've gotten will determine where you start on the evaluation process. So, if you don't have any service credit years that you're appointed with in your very first year on campus, you will undergo a periodic mini or a professional development plan. What difference between the two? So, professional development plan is a document that a first year faculty will work on in consultation with their department chair and their dean. And this is a plan of action as far as what the next 6 years of your work here on campus would look like. So, what things will you focus on? How will you address teaching style and everything in between? And so, this is a document that you will draft and you will be in consultation with your department chair. You'll back and agree on. The dean will also be involved, maybe with further revisions or additions, and then at the end of it, you'll have a complete plan of action that will guide the next, 6 years of your career here on campus. So the periodic mini is a collection of documents to show like what work you've done in your first semester regarding service, RISCA, and teaching. And then that material gets evaluated to give you an assessment and feedback. But it is a periodic evaluation, so it doesn't have any like performative result as an outcome. No decisions are made regarding your employment. It's just for assessment and feedback. So, year one, you will go undergo a periodic mini or a professional development plan, and how it is decided on which one you do will be determined by your department chair, your dean, and yourself. Like in consultation, all three of you decide which one is the best fit for you for that year. Any questions on the periodic mini or professional development plan? Okay. Year two, you'll do a periodic mini. So some people would have done a PDP first and then a periodic mini, and others will have done two periodic minis back to back. And then the third year is your first performance review, which will be reappointment or retention. And this is perform this is an evaluation of your performance for the last, few years. Like how have you been doing? And there is a decision made at the end of this to determine how many years you'll be retained for. And so depending on what the department, college, and dean have to say about your performance thus far will determine how many years you're retained for. So if you're retained for 3 years, then you'll do periodic meetings for the next 2 years, and then your tenure and promotion review will be for the 6th year. If you're retained for 2 years, then year four will be a periodic meeting, and year five will be another retention review, and then your tenure promotion review. But if you're retained, and depending on the outcome of that, you would either do a retention review or you'll do a periodic mini before your tenure and promotion. So during the pandemic, it was found that the pandemic did impede a lot of faculty members' ability to complete research or service or some teaching. And so it was determined that there would be an option to extend your probationary period by 1 year. And then the faculty would simply submit a um, what we call the C-19 PDP, and that was just explaining like how the pandemic had impacted your research or your teaching or your service. And so if you are eligible for submitting that, there is a way to request it, and then there's a way to submit that, and that would extend the probationary period from 6 years to 7 years. So that's why I mentioned that some probationary periods can be 6 years and some can be 7. Any questions about that? Okay. So this is the map. If you have 1 or 2 service credit years, you can kind of see like how the flow of the evaluations go. So if you are appointed with 1 service credit year, then your very first evaluation will be a periodic mini, and then you'll go into your retention reviews. And if you have 2 service credit years, then your very first evaluation on our campus will be a periodic mini, and then you'll go into your retention years. Any questions about that? Okay, moving right along. Okay. So, we do have our website. Let me get there. Yes, let me get there. The evaluations website. And this is your one-stop shop. All of the information that you need to know, everything evaluation is here. So let me put that in the chat. Okay. So as you see here, we have each evaluation type listed here. So each evaluation type has its own set of web pages to give you information regarding each one. So if we were to start with the first one, the reappointment, tenure, and promotion. So reappointment is sometimes called retention. Tenure and promotion, these are all performance evaluations, which means that you will be evaluated in the areas of RISCA, service and teaching, and there will be a decision made at the end on how to proceed with your employment. So either you will be reappointed for a number of years, you will earn a tenure, which speaks to your permanency in your position, and promotion, depending on what year you're on. And promotion speaks to your advancement into the next title or and an increase in salary. Promotion comes with an increase in salary of a guaranteed 9%, and then there's an additional enhancement that is decided on by the provost of an additional percentage. And we can get into that a little bit more later. And so here we are on the RTP page, and there's a wealth of information here for you. There's the instructional memo, which is the university policy on how the RTP evaluations are to be managed. Excuse me, we have RTP policy guidelines here because we are in a transition period where the university policy has been recently updated, and therefore the college and department RTP policies are also in the process of being updated since they are reflective of the university RTP policy. So you have a lot of guidelines here. This is all helpful to be familiar with if you're currently going through a periodic mini or a PDP, just to know what to expect for your upcoming retention review. Um, it's good to come to this page to know what to look forward to and understand how you will be evaluated for your retention review or your tenure and promotion review or your promotion only review. So if We also have a set of deadlines here, so you'll know exactly when each part of your evaluation process will happen. And there's also forms that we will show, and there are policies. And so we'll go through some of these pages so that you'll know exactly what information is here for you. So if we start at the instructional memo, this really breaks down how the review process goes. Um, Information about workshops coming up, deadlines that are coming up, mandatory and optional reviews, just full explanations of like what is supposed to be in your file, what are some mandatory documents, and then there's also a reference to your college and department level reviews to be more specific as far as the material that you are to add. And it speaks more about the different review types here, what the difference is between open period letters and letters of support. So there's a wealth of information here um, about external evaluations, evaluators. So this will be a great place to come to get familiar with what you will be expecting for your upcoming reviews. And this is what the deadlines page looks like. So every step of the evaluation process is listed here, and their deadlines, the due dates are all listed here. So when your candidate packet is due, when you'll hear back from the department on feedback about your material, when you'll hear back from the college review committee, and also the dean, excuse me, and also the provost. And then it also lists like the 10 days that you have to respond, 10 calendar days to respond to each level of review. So this is a good place to get an idea of when things will be due. These dates don't change a whole lot from one year to the other. So this gives you a good outline of what about when things will be due when it's time for your review. And all of these deadlines are until 11:59 p.m. that day versus 5 p.m. So you have more time, even after business hours, to meet the deadline. Um, there are also some RTP forms that evaluators use. So if we go under evaluations, RTP tenure track forms, these are the forms that your evaluators may elect to use. So you can take a peek at it to get more familiar with what they're looking for and how they'll be commenting on your material. So this may be a good resource just to take a peek at. And then the policy section, this is where you will come to view all of the policies that are related to your evaluation. So we have the Faculty Association's collective bargaining agreement. Article 15 is just about evaluations. So that is here. The most recent RTP policy is here. The one that preceded it is here. The policy specifically on external evaluations are here. And policies for each college as well as each department are all listed here as well. So it will be really good if you made yourself familiar with those policies. That would be great to get prepared for your upcoming retention, tenure, and promotion. Any questions so far? Okay, don't see any. Okay. All right, then we have some Interfolio resources on our website. This is a great place to come to help you as you're learning how to navigate Interfolio. So we have some reference guides for candidates and evaluators in the form of e-learning or in the form of PDF that has screenshots or in video form. So however you best learn, we have different ways for you to see how to navigate through Interfolio, um, how to submit your material, how to view the recommendations and decision documents as they come in, and everything in between. And so this is here for you. For technical support on campus, this is the information. I thought I updated this. Yes, so oh no, this is right. Okay. So these are the hours, the phone number, and the email address. And then for Interfolio, the platform, they also offer tech support. And this is their information to contact them. I'm also a resource for you. So if you're having issues with Interfolio, you can also email me and I can put my email address in the chat. You can request Zoom sessions. Or we can meet on Teams. You can email me or Teams me if you have any questions. Um, I am pretty flexible and accessible if you need help with anything. Finally, we have our workshops page. This is a great place to check in periodically and also at the beginning of each review cycle to see what workshops are available that may be interesting to you to help you as you are putting your material together. So we offer open labs in September and also in January. So if you run into any issues or if you have a quick question, you can drop into these sessions to ask your questions. Um, there are workshops for candidates, RTP candidates. We've had them in September. There's a recording here when we visited a college meeting to answer RTP related questions. You can check that out whenever you like. And so these are all of the different workshops that we provide to help you along your way. So please take a look at this every September, see if there's something here that will be helpful to you. Um, so we do have another session like this one coming up on the 23rd. And then in January, we'll have some more Interfolio Open Lab sessions for those of you who are preparing your periodic mini or evaluated tenure faculty candidate packets. And we do have a link to Interfolio's, the company's webinars as well, and their calendar of other workshops that they're hosting. So always remember to take a look here to see what workshops fit for that will be helpful for you. All right. So we will keep going with the presentation. Let's see. What else do we have here? Okay, so we took a tour of the website and just explaining the difference one more time. The purpose of the PDP and the PME is to provide assessment and feedback to probationary faculty members on their activities in the areas of RISCA, service, and teaching. And what's different about these PDPs and periodic minis is that it does not include any recommendations for personnel action. That happens during your reappointment, tenure, and promotion reviews. Any questions on that? Okay, keep rolling. So what will be new and different this year For those of you who are doing the periodic mini, you already have gotten access to your candidate packet and Interfolio. And what would be different this year is that you will see this section in the primary file section, or there will be a completely different section altogether um, for you to enter your selection for which RTP policy you want to be reviewed under. So as I mentioned earlier, we're in a transition period where the university, college, and department level RTP documents, policies are being updated. And so because you're being evaluated during that transition period, you get to choose which of the two policies you'd like to be evaluated under. So if you're undergoing a periodic mini this year, what that means is that you're deciding which of the policies you like for your RTP, which uh, which policy you would like your RTP evaluation to happen under next year. Okay. And so some people are eligible to make a decision. Some new hires will just be evaluated under the new policies. And if you're not sure which one you are, the best person to find out from is our AVP, our Associate Vice President, Dr. Patricia Perez, and I will put her email address here because she's really spearheading the transition of the policies, the RTP policies. Yes, Dr. Jeff, you have a question?
I do. Thank you. Thank you,
Mhm.
Simone. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am in Interfolio and I don't see this option to choose which policy.
Yes, and are you in your periodic mini evaluation? Is that the one you have?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it should be the very first section. It should say RTP policy
Oh,
selection form.
okay, duh. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
And I apologize. It may look a little different on yours. I took
Okay.
this screenshot from an RTP file, so that's why it looks different.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. And I will give a tour of Interfolio at the end as well so that you all can see it in case you haven't taken a look yet. Any questions about the selection form option, the RTP policy selection form? Okay, keep going. Okay, so again, the reappointment evaluation is also sometimes called the retention evaluation, and that happens during year 3 if you have not been appointed with service credit hour years. My apologies. And this is a performance review, which means there is a personal action attached to it as the outcome. And depending on the decision of your dean, you will be retained for either 1, 2, or 3 years at that point. Any questions about what the reappointment or retention review is? Okay. Then we have tenure and promotion and early tenure and promotion. So again, we mentioned tenure speaks to your permanency, and promotion means that going to going from assistant professor to associate, or associate to full professor or full librarian. And then there is an option. So tenure and promotion usually happens in year 6 if you haven't taken any leaves or any extensions. And there is an option to go up early, which means during your 5th year instead of your 6th year. And so there is policy guidelines for going up early that are more strenuous than going up during your regular year. And to understand the difference in the the requirements between early and regular tenure and promotion, you would get that information from your department chair or your associate dean. You'll have a conversation with them if you're interested in going up early. What are the requirements based on what my current risk of teaching and services? Do I qualify, or do you think it's a good idea for me to go up now? Do you think I have a good chance of being successful or not? So that is the discussion. And then based on what you decide together, you'll let our office know, usually the April or May before the September that you're wanting to go up early, but you have up until August to let us know. And again, it's on the deadlines page when that specific deadline is. And again, tenure promotion, it usually happens through your 6th year of probationary review. And we went over the instructional memo and we went over the deadlines. Oops. Um, okay, so now we are going to discuss open period, and it is also discussed on our webpage. Yes, Dr. Deb, you have a question?
Yes, so sorry, before you go to the next section.
Mm-hmm.
So when something says the current review period,
Mm-hmm.
based off of that map that you gave us, is the
Mm-hmm.
current review period this current school year or since your last review?
So current review period would be determined by which evaluation type you're doing. So if we went back to the instructional memo here for RTP, um, for the periodic mini, that would I believe that would be since the last review that you've had, for
So does that mean the last mini review or does that mean the retention review?
okay, we'll have to go over there to read it because I don't know it by heart. So I have to go and check. Um, but where does it say here? Period. So in the instructional memo, there is a section for period of
Okay.
review, and for RTP, the candidate will be evaluated on activities since the beginning of their probationary period, right? So that's the answer for RTP. So let's go over to the periodic mini instructional memo and see what it says over there.
I hope it's helpful for everyone else too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Current review period. New probationary faculty members during the period prior to their first reappointment review should submit materials from the day of appointment. So what that means is if you are doing your PME for either year 1 or year 2, then you're submitting all of your material for year 1 and year 2, like
Mm,
everything since your appointment. But if you're doing your periodic mini after,
mm.
then what does it say? If you've completed your reappointment review, then you should include material for the period since your most recent reappointment.
So if
So,
you're in 4 or 5, then that should go for year 3, 4, and 5, maybe, or just 4 and 5,
so
something
it says, so since your most recent review, so if you keep in mind that whatever you
like that.
submitted for your reappointment, you wouldn't need to resubmit that because it's already been reviewed, right? It's already
Okay,
been evaluated.
okay.
So anything since then, you'll add it for your periodic mini for year 4 and 5.
You're so helpful. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Any more questions there? Okay. So that was a good demonstration of how to use your instructional memo to find information, and just keeping in mind that this is an overview. And so if you have specific questions regarding what the content of the material should be, that you're uploading, then that would be a question for your department chair or your associate dean. So in this instructional memo, it kind of tells you an overview of what should be included, but for specifics on the content itself of that material, that would be best answered by your college administrators. Okay, so we're going to now discuss open period because there is a bit of confusion around that topic. And so let's take some time to really get an understanding of what it is so that you are clear on it when it's time to have your open period. Okay, so there is a section 6 in your instructional memo that explains the open period. And this is a period of time at the beginning of your RTP review process where the department list puts up a list on the department office door, a list of everyone that is going under a performance review. And this is the way that the campus community is notified that you're going under this type of review. And the reason why the campus community is notified is because they have the option to volunteer to write a letter to share their experience with you. So it could be an administrator, it can be a faculty member, it can be a student, anyone who passes by the department office and sees your name listed there that you're going up for review. If they want to submit a letter, excuse me, to share their experience of you, they can do that. Um, they are not able to submit anonymously. It has to be including a name and everything like that. And so if someone is wanting to submit a letter in this way, then they would submit the letter to the department chair. And then the department chair will share that letter with you, and you have 5 calendar days to review the letter for accuracy. If you find that the letter is accurate, then the letter gets put into your candidate file in an internal section called open period. And this section is available for your evaluators to see, and these letters are considered as part of your evaluation. So again, if you find a letter was submitted but it has inaccurate information, you do have a five-day period to respond to say, what is inaccurate about it, and then um, the letter will not be added to your candidate case. So that is an open period letter. So the difference between an open period letter and a letter of support is that a letter of support is one that you solicit someone or some people to write on your behalf. If you've gone out to ask someone for a letter of support, then that letter will go inside your candidate packet that you would add, and it would go into either your primary file or a section for supplemental material. So, open period letters, you do not solicit, and they are funneled through the departments and put in an internal section called open period. And the letters of support, you solicit, you ask people to write them for you receive them directly, and you put them in your candidate packet in your primary file section or your supplemental material section. So it does matter. There's a question in check. Does it matter as long as the letters are in your file? Yes, it does matter because the process of how the letters are processed is what's different. So, and whether or not you have solicited the letters is what makes it different. So yes, they are different, and it does matter that they are different.
Can I clarify? Does
Mhm.
it matter to the committee because they're all in your file.
I think that it just matters like how the letters were received. Like open period letters, it's understood that they're not solicited, so people volunteered to write them because they wanted to weigh in on their experience of you versus the letters of recommendation, the committee knows that you solicited the letter, like you asked someone to write it for you, so they understand that difference. I don't know how it matters as far as um, what the weight is compared to the other material that they're considering, but there's just a distinction as far as how they were received. Another question, do we, faculty or administrators, include the letters in our files, RTP or mini? So if you solicited the letters, then yes, you would include them yourself because you are getting them from the people that you solicited them to. If you've mentioned to anyone that you're going up for review and you like to receive a letter, then that's a letter that is your letter of recommendation and you're putting it in your file yourself. If you have not mentioned it to anyone, um, and your department receives the letter, then that's an open period letter because you didn't have anything to do with like that letter being written. Someone just volunteered to write it, and that becomes an open period letter, and it goes through the department to get into your file. Um, Other questions around open period versus letters of recommendation is what if the department sends out emails to the wider campus community? Is that okay? Yes, that is okay. That's still considered an open period because you personally haven't solicited anyone to write. Now, if you sent out an email letting people know that you're up for review, or if you forwarded the department email to people and they respond that way, then that then becomes a solicitation, and then those letters received will be letters of recommendation. So basically, the way to just make it simple to remember is that if you don't have a hand in the letter being written, then it's an open period letter. And if you've asked for the letter, then it's a letter of recommendation. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, good. I see some thumbs up. Very good. Okay. So now we'll do our tour of Interfolio. So for those of you who have not taken a look yet, you'll get your first peek of it. So most of you, or all of you, received a notification, whether it was for RTP or for periodic mini. You received a notification by email saying that there was a case made available for you for your review and it's ready for you. Some people think that this email is phishing or malware, and so they will delete it, and that's okay. If you got the notification but you weren't sure that it was okay to open, that's fine. The other way that you get to your candidate packet is by going to um, your CSULB home screen that looks like this, and you click on the Interfolio chiclet. If you come here and you discover that you don't have this chiclet, please email me and let me know so that we can get that for you right away. So you click on this chiclet. Oh, it's making me log in. But let's just say I've logged in already, then this is what you'll get. Oh, nope, that's not what you'll get. Hold on, let me log in. Let me log in real quick. That means I've been talking too long. I got logged out. Okay, signing in. Okay, so when you click on the Interfolio chiclet, this is what you'll get. So this first page is the My Task page. My advice for this page is to ignore it. The information here is usually not accurate, and we have reported this to Interfolio, and they are working on addressing that. But in the meantime, please ignore it. It's usually not accurate. And you want to go straight to the top left of your screen to click on your packets. This is where you see a link to the current evaluation packet that you have available to populate. And before we go there, this section, the completed section, is where you will go to review some recommendations that you've received before. So we'll come back to this, but the active section is where your current candidate packet is that either you've just submitted, if you were doing RTP, you just submitted it in September, or the one that you're currently populating that will be due in February for your periodic mini. So I will click on this one. This is a test case just to let you see what your view is. So what you'll see in this section would be your name. It would be the unit would be the department that you work in. The review type will be review. Um, the deadline will be here, and it will also say what type of review you'll be undergoing. So periodic mini, retention, or tenure promotion, that will be here. And these are your different sections. And so what you'll do to start populating each section is you'll click on the view button, or it may be an add button there. You would click on that button, and then your view will change a little bit, but you would click on this caret here on the left to expand that section. And for the section that's not populated yet, you'll see this add button. So you click the add button, and then you have a choice of how you would upload your documents. You can choose from existing, which we'll come back to, or you click on add new file, which you'll browse your computer to find the documents that you want to upload. You can upload documents one at a time. You can upload a bulk of documents at one time. It's really up to you how you want to do that. Keep in mind that it's important to have a naming convention that is either alpha or numeric, because the way that Interfolio updates your bulk files is that the smallest file usually uploads faster, which may take your documents out of order, and you are able to drag them and put them back in the order that you want. And the naming convention will help you to know what order you want the documents to be in. So we've pressed upload. We're going to click the add button. And it's taking a little bit longer because I'm screen sharing. So it doesn't usually take this very long. So as you're noticing, the documents have uploaded out of order. And the way to rearrange them is by dragging and dropping. So, and this is by just clicking, holding down the left side of your mouse and dragging the document to wherever you want it to go. So you have two options. You can upload documents one at a time to make sure that they are uploaded in the order that you want, or you can upload documents in bulk and then just drag and drop them in the order that you want them to be in. But the naming convention will help you to put them in the order that you want once they're all uploaded here. So as you're working on each section of your packet, once you're once you're done adding all of your documents to a section, then you press the submit button. And when you press the submit button, it it asks you, "Are you sure you wanna do that?" You say yes, and that's what allows your evaluators to see the documents that you've uploaded, when their review time begins. So if you only add the documents, but you don't press submit, then you're the only one that can see the documents that you have uploaded. So it's very important that you press submit when you're ready. Some candidates are a little apprehensive about pressing submit before the deadline because they want to make sure they have access to modify the section or take things out or put things in. So just know that if it's any time before the deadline day, you can reach out to me or you can reach out to your college level coordinator who will give you access. Um, all you have to do is like email them or call them to say, hey, I want to work on this section. Can you unlock it for me? And as long as it's not the deadline day or not past the deadline, then we're able to do that for you. And if you don't know who your college coordinator is for RTP, I can give you that information either after the session or by email. Just let me know. So you upload your documents in each section, you press submit in each section, and that is how you submit your candidate packet. One thing to note is that you can also add videos, but the only videos that Interfolio accepts is YouTube and Vimeo. So if you have videos that are on other platforms, you can just copy them into either YouTube or Vimeo so that a URL is created for them, and then you can use that URL here. You can keep the videos private on either platform if you don't want them to be public, but that is how you are able to generate the URL that Interfolio will accept. Yes, Dr. Deb?
Flabbergasted. I'm like, what does this look like, Simone, to do a video for a spot summary?
Um, to do a video for a spot summary, I have no idea. Um,
Isn't
so
this
again,
what you're showing us?
I just chose a random section to
Oh,
demonstrate how to
okay.
upload a video, but I guess you could make a video, a screen share video of your spot summary. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I just needed ideas. Thank you for very
Hmm.
much for that. And then,
Hmm.
so what you're saying is you're not demoing this like a spot summary, but you're demoing the fact that we can upload a video. So this might
Yes.
also look like some of the student work
Mm,
that has been done via
yes,
video, as long as it is Vimeo and YouTube.
correct.
Okay.
But yes, that option is in every section.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, you can take advantage of it in either of the sections.
Got you. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. You can also add web pages, and it looks very similar that you just put the URL here. The other thing to note is that when you go to choosing existing, you'll see a list of documents here, and where these documents are stored is called the dossier. And I'll show you where that is in a moment. All of the documents that you upload to Interfolio goes directly to your dossier. A copy of it goes to your dossier. So not only are you adding the document to this particular section, but you're adding it to your dossier and it will be there until you take it out. So the next time you use Interfolio for a different type of review, those documents will be there for you to use if you want to. So that's what choosing existing means. Like these are the previously updated documents that you've uploaded, and do you want to use that for this section in your case? So the word of advice for for adding your documents and submitting it is to not wait until the deadline day. Because if everyone waits till the deadline day to try to upload, then it will take a very long time for you to submit your sections. Like the system will get bottlenecked and it will take a very long time. And that can be an anxiety inducing situation. So, to avoid that, um, go ahead and submit your sections as you're done populating them so that by the deadline day, all of your sections are submitted. Remembering that if you need to go back into any section, you can request that it be unlocked as long as it's not after the deadline. Any questions so far about Interfolio? Okay. All right. So now I'll show you where the dossier is. So if you go to the top right of your screen, you'll see your name here. If you click on your name, you'll get this dialog box and you'll go right here where it says Interfolio Dossier. And to the far left of the screen, you will click on Materials. And this is where you will see all of the documents that you've ever uploaded to Interfolio stored here. This will be a good resource in the summertime if you were collecting material for an upcoming review. Although you won't have an active candidate packet until August or November, depending on which review type you'll have. If you wanted to start storing material that you know you want to use in your candidate packet later, you can come here to the dossier and add files. And the way that you do that is you click Add Files to the right, this button to the right of your screen, and you just upload your documents or your video just as normal. And once you do that, you'll see the documents listed here. You do have the option of putting the document in a category, and that will help you to find the documents later and to remember which sections of your candidate packet you want to put it in. So let's give it a test. So I'm uploading a document and I'm gonna put this in my summative assessment category and press add. And you'll see the document here. Another thing to note is that whatever format the material or documents are that you are uploading to Interfolio will get converted to PDF. So, especially when you're working on your spot data, if you are uploading an Excel document, then the formatting might get shifted in the PDF conversion. So the tip there is if you have an Excel document, usually for your spot data, that you would convert it to PDF first and then upload it to Interfolio second. So that way you can see what it looks like in PDF. And if you don't like the formatting, you can adjust it. You have control to adjust it and create the PDF in the way that you want it to look versus uploading an Excel sheet and Interfolio converting it to PDF, and then you don't have control of how it comes out and what it looks like. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to take your silence as a big yes. All right. So this is your dossier. Please use it. It's a great resource, especially as you're collecting your material for upcoming reviews. You can throw it all in here, you can categorize it. So when you get access to your candidate packet, you you can just choose from existing when you're uploading documents to each section. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you being here with us. Okay, so okay, we've done a tour. Okay, any questions? Okay, so I'm gonna upload a document for you. Um, let's see here. There we go. Mm, where is it? Okay. So I'm uploading a document, tips for RTP candidates, and this lists a lot of the best practices that we have discovered over the years that may be helpful to you. So here are a few. Please feel free to download that and keep it for your records. Oops, let's try that again. Um, where is the current? Okay, well, we'll just get there. Okay, best practices. Use your dossier if you find it helpful. Some people also find it helpful just to create folders on their personal devices. Just keep in mind that Interfolio does not upload folders, only files. So you can create your own folders or you can use your dossier and categorize your material. Make sure that you're familiar with all of the related policies regarding your evaluation type. So if you're not going up for RTP this year, you have plenty of time to be familiar with your CBA Article 15 for evaluations, the university RTP policy, the instructional memo for RTP, your college level RTP policy, and your department level RTP policies. Those are all great resources for you to know how to prepare for your upcoming review. You can upload your packet and submit sections up until the deadline. Don't not just on deadline day. So try not to wait till the very last minute. If you do take all of your time and still work in there on the submission deadline, just expect that there may be delays in the system. So give yourself time for that. Make sure that you're consulting with your department chair throughout your process. If you have any questions regarding the content of the material that you should be uploading, the department chair or your associate dean are your resources to get clarification on those things. Make sure that you attend all of the relevant workshops. They are here to help you, so please take advantage of every resource that we offer. And do not hesitate to contact me for any questions that you have regarding Interfolio or any basic interpretations of the RTB policies. Um, and I am here by Teams or Zoom or phone call or email if you want to meet in person, if you want me to come to your office to show you how to do this or that. All of those options are available, as well as our Interfolio um, open labs that are happening in January. So are there any questions? Okay. All right. Well, I do not have any additional information. That is all I have for you today. Um, yeah, so yes, so DHUM stands for Doctorate uh, of Humanities. It's an honorary doctorate. That's what it stands for. So it was recognition for 3 decades of community service, both locally, nationally, and internationally. So thank you for asking. Thank you. I'm glad that you found this session helpful. Remember that this does not have to be the only time that you receive resources. I will be posting the recording for you to see later, and there's already a recording from a previous session that you can view. We have another session happening on October 23rd if you want to hear all this again, or if you have a question, please feel free to reach out to me. I am happy to help. Otherwise, good luck on all of your reviews, and I hope for the best outcome for you. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Thomas.